Let's talk about this soccer player who has apparently found a divorce loophole. So what happened was he married a woman and he thought that she might be a gold digger, or maybe he didn't even think that. I don't know. But before he even married her, he transferred all of his wealth to his mother, and even his
Hmm.
paycheck is mostly going to his mother. So when this woman filed for divorce, he was able to say that he has almost no assets. And it does seem that legally this is going to fly. And thinking logically about it, I think even in the United States, at least regarding existing assets, I don't see why this wouldn't fly. I think that it would because I understand that sometimes in divorce court or whatever, you'll get punished for trying to hide assets. But if you transferred assets even before getting married, it would be very difficult to argue that you were quote unquote hiding assets for a divorce, right? Because you weren't even married yet. You could just say, well, I just wanted my mom to control everything. I just wanted her to have everything. I don't think that people could fairly argue that that's an attempt to hide assets for a divorce.
What about the income part, though? I
The
don't
income
understand.
part is sketchier because when the income comes in and you're doing this sort of stuff,
He's
I
got to
think you
have
could
paid taxes, right? It's not like, yeah,
yes, he
because
pays taxes on what he gets,
yeah.
but presumably whatever amount of money goes to his mom, she does pay taxes on it. So
Hmm.
it's not like it's not tax evasion. She's paying taxes on it. But you might be able to construct the argument that this guy was hiding assets by doing this.
Yeah.
However, if he signed this arrangement where his paycheck went to his mom before he got married, again in that situation, I think it would be difficult to argue that because this is just the financial arrangement he has. It's not an attempt to hide anything from anyone for a divorce. And what could you say? And if you're the woman marrying the guy, why can we not ask the woman, like, well, should you not have, talked about what his finances were? You married the guy knowing that his money goes to his mom. Fair play. This is what you married into. So he is not worth very much money. You knew that going in. I think this utter genius has found a loophole. And I think you should take some notes here because this might apply to you. You're not married and you do want to get married, but there is the concern of, your pre-existing assets. And my only question to you is, do you trust your parents enough to hand them all your assets?
Yeah, but my dad's pretty old,
Right, that's true.
so this
So that
game
could be risky. Like what is it going to do?
this
Well,
game doesn't last. I mean, and also there's estate taxes to think about.
oh right, that's true.
Yeah.
So it's different with this guy because he was very young when he did all this, right? I think he was only
Mhm.
19. Maybe there was no fear that his mom was probably pretty young, right? So that is a different situation. But it does appear that he's found an awesome loophole, and people in the manosphere, guys all over, are cheering. They're calling him an absolute Chad. Like I kind of agree. I think this is pretty cool, and I think that because family courts are traditionally very unfriendly to men. So and this idea, the pushback is that well, does this woman not deserve anything? Blah 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 for the time she put in. Like first of all, I don't think they were married that long. Second, and this woman is an actress, so it's not as if him protecting his assets this way, it's going to leave her on the streets or destitute or anything. She has her own money.
Mhm.
These laws, the way these laws were structured, they were structured for a time where there was patriarchy. There was this idea that women can't hold jobs, that women can't make their own money. And if a man marries a woman and then just divorces her, that's a really dangerous situation for the woman. And therefore the man should be held responsible, right? Like you can't just dump your family and then now
Mhm.
they're destitute. Like yeah, clearly we should not endorse this sort of behavior and we should have safeguards against it. However, this is 2023. Women make their own money. Feminism has won. So, and in this specific situation, this woman has her own career and makes really good money on her own. So why should she get half of everything that he earned during their marriage? Even this idea, it's just even taken for granted that well, maybe you should be able to keep whatever assets you brought into the marriage. However, whatever you made during the marriage is 50-50. I would push back on that as well. Like why should it not be more nuanced and more tailored to the specific situation than that? What did she contribute to his soccer contract, right? Like he made this money not because he was married to a woman and because of her support or whatever. He made this money because he's a pro athlete. Why should she be entitled to half of it? It doesn't make sense to me.
I'm assuming they didn't have kids or anything.
No, they had two kids,
Oh, they
but
had two kids?
yeah, but I'm not arguing that this guy should not be made to pay child support, right?
Hmm.
Of course he should, but he's just protecting his pre-existing assets and also his incoming assets during the marriage, you know? And I've read some stories where it said that she's going to be made to pay him because she's technically worth more than him. I don't think that's going to happen, but that would be hilarious, of course. You know what you should do? You can transfer all your assets to anonymous, well, quote unquote, anonymous crypto accounts, right? But
Hmm.
before the marriage.
Hmm.
Because if you do that 6 months before the divorce, they're gonna find out that you're hiding assets. But well, if it happens even before you're married, then what can they do? Right?
Yeah, I think it's yeah. The thing is, like, crypto, Bitcoin in particular. It's maybe not as anonymous as
Well, find an
people
anonymous
would.
one. Yeah.
That's it's one of the weaknesses, I think, of
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
But I think if you do it with enough lead time before you get married, I think that should safeguard you. Well, I guess no, they could if you had a salary of some sort, they could, put a lien on your salary, right?
Mm, yeah.
But then if you're in the fortunate situation where your assets make more money than your salary,
Yep.
then they really have no options. You could just move to another country where they have no jurisdiction and just slowly draw from your crypto and they can't touch you.
Yeah. Yep. I think they're afraid of this situation right now.
Right. And this is not the main reason, but this is probably one of the many reasons why the federal government is waging a war on crypto right now. They don't like it. They don't like all the possibilities and all the, let's just be honest, freedoms that you could acquire when your money is separated from the system that they control.